Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to another exciting episode of T3PO Live. I am your host today, that being Vash Sky. Hopefully you all can see me well. I'm getting the Wi-Fi logo there. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and monitor that throughout the show. Great, awesome stuff, StreamYard. Thank you so much for an exciting day of streaming at a very high price tag. Anyway, that's not nothing about that right there. We have a tremendous show today for you, going and talking about attractions that may be closing and attractions that definitely are closing, and maybe some that might be reinvigorated by well, a famous founder. But we'll go into all of those stories and much more here on today's program with some much needed help. That comes from one LW Ghost, Nolan Thunder, and Erika from Erika and Raf. Hello there, everybody. How are you doing today?
We're getting the band back together again. My goodness.
Band is back together again. Indeed. Love it. Absolutely love it. Erika, I know you joined. We didn't have a chance to connect with you before the show. You doing okay? You doing all right?
Yeah. Is my audio okay?
Audio's fine. Audio's perfect.
No, we're good. Yeah, we're good.
Absolutely.
Background's a total vibe. Just saying.
Yes, it is. It's my coffee shop Halloween vibe.
I feel calm right now. I feel mellow. We need like a yoga edition of T3PO or something. I like it.
No,
I know.
No yoga. I'm too lazy for that. Just coffee.
But you also, what also is lazy? The Walt Disney Company. There's your segue, Vash.
That's my segue.
Oh boy.
They are very lazy indeed. Well, we have to cover this story right here. Nolan, thank you so much for setting up this segment, because boy, oh boy, we have got to cover this. Breaking from Drew the Disney Dude over there on Twitter. Apparently, the final day to experience the beloved dinosaur attraction over there at Disney's Animal Kingdom will be February 1st. There you go, from, like I was saying before, Drew the Disney Dude on X. Final day to experience dinosaur, the Dino Institute Shop Restaurantosaurus, the and Restaurantosaurus Lounge, I do apologize, it's stringing some words together don't usually go together, is February 1st, 2026 at Disney's Animal Kingdom. The Tropical America's Land, featuring major Encanto and Indiana Jones attractions, is set to open in 2027. Yes, the Boneyard just recently closed, actually, that famous kids play area that people were very fond of. That recently closed forever. Now we have gotten our first look into the timeline, the complete timeline, actually, for this entire Tropical America's themed land, because what they also provided here is that the entire land, with everything that I believe includes the Encanto ride and the Indiana Jones attraction that will be taking the place of Dinosaur, will be opening in 2027. Whoa, that's pretty big right there. Guys, your thoughts on all of this this update here that just broke recently?
Alert the Guinness book if they do it that fast.
Ooh, Mr. Vash, can I go first?
Please.
Oh, I'd love to. You see, because Nolan Thunder is not a very happy man right now, because he was a very big fan of the dinosaur attraction, actually. In fact, it even reminded him so much of those, like, 1990s PBS Kids programming, you know, the educational public television stuff. They'd tell you all the cool things about animals. It had, like, one of the best pre-shows ever where it really immersed the vibe, and is low-key one of the most terrifying things you'll ever do on Disney. It's super intense. It's like the Florida equivalent of the Indiana Jones ride, and it is one of the only rides that ever, if even for a split second, and this was my second time ever riding it, actually scared me a bit when you're right up next to the T-Rex or whatever the giant thing is towards the end, is that thing where your mind just tricks you with an animalistic instinct of danger, but you know it's actually just a ride afterwards, but that never happens to me. This ride is a work of art. Dinosaurs are evergreen, and yeah, it was connected to a movie that may not have done over that well, but it's dinosaurs. There's always a market for it for young boys. I hate the fact that this thing's going away. I am so sad, and yes, I know all dinosaurs must eventually die, but I feel like my dreams are dead right now, and thanks, Bob. I'm so sad. So very sad.
It is a very sad day for sure for dinosaur fans, because, you know, with the closure of Dinosaur, that being February 1st, 2026, well, now you have no representation of dinosaurs in a park that references them quite heavily everywhere else. It's one of the fundamental tenets of Disney's Animal Kingdom will no longer be there, and instead being replaced with, I guess, a new version of the Indiana Jones Adventure that you're seeing on screen right there from Disneyland.
For those unaware, the tracks are identical.
Correct.
Between the Disneyland Indy ride and Dinosaur. The names have been changed to protect the extinct.
Right, exactly. that's a good way of saying it right there. Look, I love Indiana Jones Adventure. I think it is the I would say it's my favorite ride for sure. But when I think about Dinosaur and how it compares, I do think there's a little bit of a drop off in quality, and I don't know if the audio animatronics, even if they were working 100% and all of the effects were working in Dinosaur, because much of it has been, has gone extinct, for like a better terminology. I don't think even with all of it at 100%, it was as convincing and as immersive of a story as something like Indiana Jones. So I'll say that I have less fondness for Dinosaur than I do Indiana Jones at Disneyland. That being said, though, I know a lot of people do have fondness for it, and it is unfortunate that they maybe couldn't come up with a different original idea to replace Dinosaur rather than just going back to Indy, which people have theorized for a long time here. Erika, I want to go ahead and get your thoughts and get you in on the story right here. What do you think about Dinosaur finally going away, dinosaurs being removed entirely from Animal Kingdom come February?
I have mixed feelings because I was not a huge fan of the dinosaur area. I thought it was kind of cheaply themed, like they could have done a better job. I did like the dinosaur attraction. until one day, for some odd foreseen reason, they decided to turn the volume up even more from the day they debuted it. And I swear my eardrums would bust while on that attraction. So it became kind of a annoying
What'd you
to
say,
ride.
Sonny? Turn it up. What do you
Yeah,
say?
no, that was me. Yep, I'm that old lady. I'm intrigued though with the new stuff. The concept art looks nice, but I'm worried that it's not going to deliver because Disney's got a reputation now of not delivering on their concept art. But it is what it is. We kind of have to, unfortunately, get over it. You know, it's coming, and
I just hope, in light of recent Disney miscues, that there aren't any bad smells in it. Because it would be a damn shame to go from extinct to just stinct.
Speaking of which, I was watching one of the local vloggers live the other day. I'm not going to say who it was. And I think they were at Epcot. Yeah, it was Epcot. They were walking by, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere on the stream, is, "Ooh, that smells bad right there. I don't know what that is." And I just kind of sat there, was like, like I've been hearing this a lot.
That's what people pay $200 a day to go do, is smell bad things.
I am excited for the Indiana Jones attraction, mainly because is it Disneyland in California that has that ride looks really cool. I can't wait to go on it one day. So I'm kind of excited that we're getting a rendition of it. Maybe the volume will be better. They won't like bust your eardrum.
I can confirm, Erica, as someone who's been on both, that the Indiana Jones ride is inferior to this. I know that some people here on the panel seem to think it's superior. I don't know who, but Vash, I want to have an argument with you in an online forum. Let's do it. Let's go. No,
wow.
but there's a lot of potential with, going for Indiana Jones again, because, I mean, realistically speaking, you think, okay, it's been... Vash, when did the original Indiana Jones Adventure Ride open in California? What year was that?
That was March of 95.
March of 95. So, being about, let's say, 30 years removed from that ride, you'd think, theoretically, revamping a ride in pretty much the same style with an all-new take on Indiana Jones, this sounds like amazingness. Like, it's like making an all-new version of Space Mountain. You're like, oh my gosh, the potential here. But as we see, apparently the 1990s were the peak of humanity, and apparently roller coasters as well, because they can't do good things anymore. Am I wrong, Vash?
You might not be wrong there. I mean, look, Indiana Jones still holds up. You ride that attraction today, it's like, wow, that really is incredible. And unlike Dinosaur, in which, they've let certain effects atrophy, right? And they haven't maintained it as well as maybe some other attractions at Walt Disney World. At Indiana Jones and Disneyland, they've only added to it ever since it made its illustrious debut. This would be its 30th anniversary. Wow, that's crazy.
And
Go ahead, Luke.
Your question brings up something interesting. It opened in 85. Raiders came out in theaters in 1981. A 4-year lapse between the first movie, and the ride is awfully short nowadays, isn't it? Because now it seems to take forever after a movie is a hit for Disney to do an attraction based on it, doesn't it?
Lou, that was 95.
Even so. Okay, whatever. Never mind.
Well, no, I mean, relatively speaking, I think you're exactly correct right there. You have to think about this. This was before Lucasfilm was actually officially acquired by Disney, right? So,
they made a special deal for this one thing.
Exactly. So,
as they did for Star Tours.
Right. So the idea that they were able to get an attraction from George Lucas, from the mind of George Lucas, into Disneyland at the time that they didn't own them, not so long after Star Tours made its debut at Disneyland, actually in 1987 in Tomorrowland. Well, that's kind of a big deal right there. So I
always thought that logo looked like Starbucks. Is it just me?
Yeah,
everything looks like Starbucks now, Lou. They were ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Everything looks like Starbucks. But Dinosaur, though, I think it was I don't know. It just, to me, it just never capitalized on the enhanced motion vehicle aspect that Disneyland pioneered back in 1995. I just don't know.
How many variations on the ride were there officially at Disneyland? Like a dozen different takes on the motion. And
yikes. Oh yes, and remember there was a lot of variability added with the door sequence there and all of that. So like you definitely
rewritability was built into it.
Right, it kept it fresh. And Dinosaur, you know, when you would ride on it, it's like, oh well, that dinosaur doesn't work anymore, and that dinosaur doesn't work anymore. So you had rewritability in the opposite direction.
Or just do the great old theme park industry standard. At least what they used to do in the Cedar Fair parks was you just turn off the lights. Pretend the dinosaur isn't just staring at you in the dark. Like, it was never there, guys. Just be in darkness for a little while.
So Cedar Fair. Woo! Wow. Disney, that's where you're at now.
And that's the thing,
Good job,
too.
Disney!
Yeah, that's it. So the Indiana Jones... an Indiana Jones attraction, I will say, was always going to make its way to Walt Disney World at some point. It was actually supposed to take its place in Disney's Hollywood Studios at some point in the 90s, but obviously the Disney decade didn't quite work out.
And there's an Indy coaster at one of the other parks, right? Where is that?
Disneyland Paris.
Paris, that's what I thought, yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And
it took Indiana Jones 30 years to get over there. I don't think he's a very good treasure hunter. I mean, that is slow, bro. He's an old man now. But go ahead, Vash.
Hey, you know, he's got those 1930s planes there. You know, they're not the fastest.
In other words, Nolan, you think this ride belongs in a museum?
Right. So if you go over to Disney's Animal Kingdom and you go, well, wait a minute, you have the enhanced motion vehicle ride system. Why they use that ride system? Why did they use that iteration of it? Why didn't they just go with Indiana Jones in the first place? You gotta understand, folks, Joe Rohde, back in the day, he really wanted Animal Kingdom to be different and feature a lot of unique elements. Beastly Kingdom, for example, but, you know, Asia, Africa, all that, and needed really a big-time attraction or thrill ride. At first, it was going to be a roller coaster, and then it was like, well, let's not do the roller coaster. Let's go ahead and adapt an already existing template for a dinosaur-themed attraction, and that's where they adapted the enhanced motion vehicle for that specific purpose right there. It just didn't really, I think, play out as well as anybody was initially intending.
Do you know what animation is, Indy? It's a telephone for talking to Walt.
Yes, exactly. You know, you bury this in the desert. Wait till 100 years, it becomes priceless. Yeah, that's Belloc, little speech right there. Anyway, sad day for Dinosaur. Happy for Indiana Jones fans, and somebody in the chat actually mentioned the fact that Universal had really kind of taken over the dinosaur genre, right? And I think Disney might be ceding ground right there, or at least that's what the commenter actually said. I do think that is
a beautiful point, and sorry to interrupt there, Vash, but I think there's a deeper reasoning behind it. The full name of this ride isn't just Dinosaur, it's Dinosaur Countdown to Extinction, right? If they had to be accurate to the names, like that would be like every single ride at Walt Disney these days, because all of them are countdowns at this point when they're going to remove them.
I guess so. There's a lot of stuff playing out here. Obviously, the IP nature of the company, everything else. And look, they bought Lucasfilm for $4 billion. They want to capitalize that on that as much as possible. And I think that might be informing a lot of decisions that we're actually seeing from the company with various franchises. Sad day for Dinosaur, but it looks like extinction has finally come. All right, I think that just about concludes that segment right there. Thank you so much, guys. Very much appreciate that. And let's see what else is on the docket right here. By the way, we have some amazing people in the chat right now. We got Juliet, we've got the Service Dog, we've got Jim, we've got, Theme Park Wizard, which is very apt for our next segment coming up right here. That's going to be a whole lot of fun to go through. And let's see here. Yeah, we just Emily, Alia. awesome stuff for
We love
sure.
you, people.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Lou, your old stomping grounds right here. Universal Studios Hollywood.
One of my many
yes.
old stomping grounds. I stomped around Paramount and Fox and a few others in my day.
Hollywood in general, I suppose. But
in a place with earthquakes, you don't want to stomp too hard. You're liable to inspire something. So,
wow, that's interesting. Never heard of that. Universal getting inspiration from plans going back to 2006. Sally's me so on Twitter. I think I got that right. Sal. Possible evolution plan showing what we can expect from Universal Studios Hollywood in the coming years. Some highlights are a new attraction with food and merchandise replacing WATERWORLD and a tram tour overhaul with possibly 3 new stops. Yes, this is as the post mentions right here, this is a new update or a further development of this big evolution plan that Universal has been crafting for itself since 2006. Now, if people, remember their Universal history, you'll note that, well, that's actually before Comcast even bought Universal, and that is correct. Comcast hasn't officially inked that deal, I think 2010, very, very early 2011 right there. So this actually predates Comcast's ownership. And as we've seen from Comcast, they're putting on the gas pedal. They're not slowing down, and they're building all kinds of attractions in Texas, in Vegas, in Chicago, also to Epic Universe, looking to expand on the parks out in Orlando. It is crazy, but Universal Studios Hollywood actually has a huge slew of proposed additions and attractions that will be making its way into that park over the next coming years. And this might provide a little bit of a fuller picture than fans watching this park have previously ever received before. And if we do enlarge this here, you'll see there is 2 points on this legend right here. There's proposed facilities and existing facilities. So the existing facilities, that includes stuff that's already kind of been approved and moving right along right here. So you'll note if you, I know it's just a, black and white boxes right here, but there is a method to this. Around here where my cursor is right now, that's the entrance of Universal Studios Hollywood. And you'll actually see this kind of oblong structure right along here. That's the new hotel. And they're saying that's an existing facility. They're already so far along. It's basically right here, and that's it. That's going to be around 500 rooms from what we understand, and is actually located in this proposal right here. About 500 rooms for that hotel. And just like Theme Park Wizard has beautifully pointed out in the past, not only are they getting this hotel at the entrance, but they're also getting a hotel on the other side of City Walk. And that is noted on here as well, but as a proposed facility. So very interesting to note. But other things around here, you'll see around here where I have my cursor, that's a proposed facility as well. What is that? That's WaterWorld. And that's why everybody's going, oh, wait a minute. Why is WaterWorld on this as a proposed facility? I have heard plans to get rid of WaterWorld a couple of times. So it makes it's no surprise to me that it's on this list as a potential facility. The question now is not so much if, but more like when. Will it actually come within the next 5 years, or will they keep postponing it? Again, a lot of this dates back to 2006, and they haven't done anything yet. Will they now? And what is WaterWorld for people who might not or are not familiar with this attraction? Well, let me go ahead and put this on screen. This actually is a video from Ivan, or Valientes, on YouTube, also doing work for Park Hoppin'. So I want to go ahead and give full credit to him. This is his video. Definitely go ahead and subscribe over there. I'll go ahead and leave a link to this specific video and to his channel so that everybody here can go ahead and subscribe, because he produces some amazing content. But this is a stunt show dating back in the 1990s where, yeah, they thought WaterWorld was going to be the next big hot thing. And it died at the box office.
The movie was a total disaster, but the attraction is fantastic.
The attraction
Especially
is
the finale
fantastic.
where the airplane jumps over the wall and smashes down into that pool.
Lou, yeah, let me. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm going to say something, and correct me if I'm wrong here. But I kind of think of Waterworld as kind of their version of Fantasmic. Would you agree with that?
Well, you mean without the fireworks and the lasers and the pyro? Yeah, sure it is. And it's
Does this one have a dragon?
They don't do it at night, do they? I don't remember.
Sometimes in the wintertime when you have some evening hours and maybe they add a show or two, sometimes you can catch portions of the show at night or very, very dark. It's actually quite cool. So Fantasmic is a nighttime spectacular, no question about that. But in terms of consuming crowds for a big time show featuring stunt performers, pyrotechnics, effects on the water, all of that, and for how many people it serves, I kind of like the comparison. I understand I'm kind of taking a leap right there, but you kind of have a lot of the ingredients, right? You have, big explosions. You have, like this is illustrating here, live performers. They're doing stuff with boats on the water, and instead of a finale with a dragon, you have a finale with a seaplane. But I look at it very similarly. Anyway, maybe that's a little bit of a stretch. But this is a beloved show, and it gets huge guest satisfaction surveys.
It may be beloved, but is it iconic?
Well, I don't know if it's iconic, but it is. From what I understand, surveys that have been done for the show after people have actually seen it, it gets some of the highest surveys in the entire park.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and deserves them.
Yes, and it's really something that I don't know. If you were to build something in its place, would you guarantee that the surveys would be as high? Would it be as big of a crowd pleaser? And I think that's why this thing has outlasted the movie by 20-fold now. It's just it's a hit, and a lot of people have advocated for a version of the show to make its way into other places. I think the only other variant is Tokyo, but besides that,
in all of those drawings we've seen, the concept art, which we know, unlike another company, we know they actually do follow the concept art at Universal. The UK park has something that looks a lot like this. Now, some people have speculated that that's going to be a James Bond show or something different, but the theater, the layout is very, very similar to this.
Oh yes, I absolutely, I'll agree with that, and hopefully, I think we have Ivan in the background here. Let me go ahead and get him on. Ivan, we were just watching your amazing work here over on your YouTube channel. I hope that's all right. I wanted to go ahead and promote you some way, and I did not have a B-roll package previously. Ivan, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let me fix my mic, but if you can hear me now, what's up, guys?
Sound good. Sound good.
Let me just
you sound very good, but I'll go ahead and I'll put you in the background just for a second. You go ahead and wave to me, and I'll go ahead and put you back on right here. Sorry about that, Ivan. I do apologize. But this show here, I think, is absolutely phenomenal. Erika, I believe I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, just reacting to when that guy fell. I was like, I've never seen this show. It's really.
The big finale is the thing.
Oh, you got to see the big finale. Oh, please, no.
So, I think something that as someone who unfortunately has not gotten a chance to see the show yet either, what shows how good it is the fact that this thing is still around to what's one of probably the biggest flops of all time. You have to look at it in the sense of this is California, remember, they don't have the blessing of a lot of space to use. That's valuable assets right there. And the fact that this show has lasted so long must show its quality because, I mean, outside, does anyone under the age of 20 know what Waterworld with Kevin Costner even is? Like, really?
Well, aside from the fact that it was a flop, it was an expensive flop. It was in its day the Marvel overspend disaster of its time. To give you an idea, the real Waterworld was shot mostly off the coast of Oahu, and they had these 30 cal machine guns shooting blanks. But even shooting blanks, they kick out empty shell casings, right? They hired hard hat divers, which don't come cheap, to go out every day after shooting and pick up the shell casings off the bottom of the ocean for environmental reasons. You know what that costs? Oh my God.
Yeah,
And as I've told the story, I don't know, has everybody heard my story about witnessing one of the interesting moments in the production of that movie?
I've heard this one.
At Paramount, in what's called B Tank, which is the same place that Star Trek had the Klingon cruiser and the whales. It's a parking lot normally, but it's depressed enough that they can fill it with water and use it for shows. And a lot of things have been done there. But for WaterWorld, they set up a deal where there was supposed to be the side of this tanker that the bad guys used as a base, this rusty wall. And the idea of the shot, this was all second unit. Costner wasn't there, nobody like that. But the idea of the shot was that these guys on jet skis would come booming through a breakaway section of that wall and fly across and land in the water. Splash, end of shot, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was working on another show, a sitcom there, and we were going to lunch and we were walking past it, and I looked up at it. And how do you blow this thing through the wall? Well, you can't obviously use the engines of the jet ski because there's no water up there where it is. So there's a track and there's a giant air ram, a big, huge compressed air tank that's going to literally blow it through this breakaway wall with the guy on it. Well, for safety's sake, of course, they drain all the gas out of it. So it's very light. And I looked at the size of this air ram and I turned to my crew members and I said, that's too much. They're gonna have a problem. And they all looked at me like, what do you know? Because I'm not a special effects guy. I'm just a guy who understands these things. And I was right. We came back to watch him shoot it after lunch. And what happened was this thing went right through the wall, across the tank, and lodged itself in a third-story office window of the office building on the other side of the tank. Happily, the stuntman jumped off over the water, but oops. So it was a production that was like that. It was plagued with all these terrible mistakes and disasters and overruns, and it was a total loser. But somebody got the bright idea to do this show, and it's been a hit for theme park audiences there for all this time. And as you can see, it goes on a long time. It's a big show. And it's a big, huge arena. And I don't know how many people it holds, but it occupies people for a long time.
Long time. This is a fan favorite. Been around for forever. Ivan, let's go ahead and pull you into this conversation because I know you're very opinionated on whether or not you believe WaterWorld is going away. I know I am for sure, but I want to go ahead and break it to you. Oh, I think you're muted, so let me go ahead and unmute you. Oh, and
you're muted on your end, Ivan.
Oh no, we keep hitting the button at the same time.
There we go.
What's up? Yeah, no, yesterday was a weird day because I went to Universal for the first time in a bit. And I was not aware of what was going on Twitter or any of these updates. And I was like, let me check out the final WaterWorld showing of the day. And it was like a full crowd. It packed the whole stadium. And they did a really good show. You could tell the actors, they've done it countless of times. It was the last show of the day, so it looked like they wanted to give it their all. I saw enthusiasm out of all of them. The crowd was all pumped up. And I was just thinking, wow, this is like one of the best things ever. And like, you can't really, there's nothing else like it in any theme park. And I sort of have an attachment to it because I'm working on this multi-camera project with it. There's a trailer there if you want to play in the background so people see maybe a preview of it. But the idea behind it is to celebrate this attraction. There's been countless other videos that are really good where people try to do multi-camera, very impressive. And I'm also kind of wondering and questioning, where is Universal Studios Hollywood's 30th anniversary merch or celebration? Because by this October 15, that's the date that this attraction turns 30. It's the birthday. So I haven't seen anything announced that's coming up. Usually they give us a couple weeks or even months, like, hey, they give us weeks and months about Fan Fest. they gave us weeks and months about.
There it is.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Erica?
Boom.
I'd like to be sitting in that arena with that plane.
Like, what? I was not
Freaking awesome.
expecting that.
That's-
This thing just comes at you, and I'm like,
That's the big finale. It's fantastic.
The
wow.
best part is if you're sitting there, you don't know that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, it is. It's awesome. This thing is super cool. I can't wait. Ivan, go ahead and slide me in the chat right there. The trailer for the multi-camera video that you were working on.
It should be right there at the top.
At the top. Okay.
And
Go
I
ahead,
guarantee
please.
you, in 30 years, more people have seen this show than saw the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. The show is like has become much more popular and
Over there.
much more part of pop culture than the movie itself. Personally, I love the movie mainly because it's just there's rarely any CGI in there or any kind of like like post-production special effects trickery. They really went all out with all the physical special effects and action sequences. So that's basically where the money went, besides shooting in the middle of the ocean. But the show at Universal has become much more popular, much more part of pop culture, and
There you go.
it's almost like a theme park type of staple, an iconic theme park staple where like, hey, Universal Studios is known for these kind of shows. You don't have this at Disney. You don't have this. I think other theme parks have stunt shows. Like I think they have something at Knox, for example, but not in the caliber of this, where Universal can make you feel like you're in the movie. The idea behind WaterWorld and behind what was closed and behind some of the stuff at the studio tour is that the Universal Studios, what they've done best and what's made them really successful as an original theme park in the industry is that they make you feel like you're in the movies. And that's the whole idea behind this show.
And I will point out that in this show and in the classic stunt show they do on the Western backdrop, this is not how movies are made. In a real movie, you'd shoot this in about 150 pieces of film cut together. Do this, stop, do that, stop, do this effect, stop, do this 12 times until we get it right, then stop. So it's really the only place on the planet, with a few rare exceptions, where you get a complete sequence with all these stuntmen and women, and they're pretty fantastic. And this is dangerous stuff. That
Absolutely.
firefall that he does is a seriously dangerous stunt. It is something that on a movie, the guy would get paid huge bonuses for doing. And there he is doing it, 3 times, 4 times a day, every day. It's just spectacular.
Yeah, no, I mean it's absolutely phenomenal. And like you said, Lou, it is very dangerous. There is actually some really good behind the scenes footage of WaterWorld where you have I guess stunt guys who have mounted like GoPros to them, and you kind of like see from their perspective of what they're going through. I mean, it's intense.
Considering it's live, and the timing of when those flashes go off and when the bombs go off and when the flames go off, this is an order of magnitude of 10 times Fantasmic at Disneyland. It really is.
Yeah, it there's so much technology involved in this show right here. You can see some behind the scene footage right there. I'm sure we're gonna be got for some of this, but that's okay. It's just absolutely incredible, and a lot of coordination, a lot of technical wizardry to both pull off and to pull off safely these effects and showpieces and everything. I mean, it really is stunning. But like Ivan was saying before, there really isn't. There's nothing like this. First of all, and I think this is a connection point with Universal's illustrious past that used to be so much more prevalent, I would say, in this specific park right here, but really kind of chain wide. And so to get rid of this, I think is, I don't know, I understand that IPs and relevant IPs are very, very important, and groundbreaking attractions are awesome, but this right here, I think, is what keeps people coming back. Go ahead, Nolan. You were worth to say.
Yeah, I'd like to present a question to you, Vash, actually, with your point here. It seems like it's a shame because of all the work that goes into the show. Like, this is obviously, to anyone watching who has good taste, this is clearly a technical marvel right here. You know, the biggest detractor to this whole show, and I think part of the reason why it hasn't caught on the same way, like, say, Disney's Fantasmic has, you know, as far as, like, being one of the most memorable things or something you kind of have to sell to people who've never been there. It's like, well, no. It's connected to Waterworld, but it's actually one of the highlights of your trip. Could they theoretically, because I've been vouching for this for a little while now, retool this show, because they already have the water in there, retool this into, like, say, a One Piece show or something like that, you know, take advantage of what they already have to a more popular IP.
Well,
It is so funny you say that. Well, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the question is, normally IPs certainly age and people's memory of the original movie gets fainter and a new generation grows up having never seen it. But since nobody ever saw this movie anyway, relatively speaking, this show is an entity to itself, irrelevant to the motion picture it's theoretically based on. I mean, it just is.
Yeah.
So
the character
true.
in the movie, that's Dennis Hopper, the bald guy with the one goggle. This guy doesn't look like Dennis Hopper. So, you know, it's a thing unto itself.
Yeah.
Now,
And therefore perennial, and therefore the IP doesn't wear out because the IP is relatively irrelevant. You don't have to have seen the movie or know the characters or anything to say it's a bunch of good guys and bad guys fighting it out on the water, and at the end an airplane jumps over a wall. Good enough for me.
No one's seen this movie, and yet it's still easier to follow than Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Good to know.
Well,
that's
there you
a
go.
Very
There
good
you
point,
go.
actually. Very good
Without
point. Now,
dancing okra, I might add.
There's layers to this. Sorry.
no, go ahead, Ivan, please.
There's layers to this story. Like he said there, you don't have to have seen the movie. There's a quick little narration at the beginning that sets you up the location and the story and the characters. There is the plot where they're trying to find the land. There's a plot with the Mariner and Helen. They have this romantic plot going on, subplot going on. There's this comedic stuff going on with the henchmen. There's so many layers in the storytelling here. It's not just from point A to point B. So it is a roller coaster ride. If you're invested, if you've seen it a lot, you're gonna be a fan, and you're gonna really. They always do little nuances here and there in different shows.
Yeah.
So
by
for-
the way, that girl is playing the character originally played by Jean Triplehorn in the movie. You wouldn't know that either, would you?
That's
The
that's a
pilot
deep cut
of
right
the
there.
plane was Jack Black in the movie before
Yes,
he
he
was
was.
famous.
It's so crazy.
You know,
It's a lot of connective tissue there. So Nolan, you bring out One Piece for special events in Universal Osaka. They actually do a One Piece variant of this show.
What?
In this theater. Yes. So a lot of people have been requesting that for FanFest, they bring that show here. In Occupy Universal Studios Hollywood's version of the Waterworld Theater. That is like a thing. So you're definitely onto something, Nolan, for sure. I just think there's tremendous value in this. And by the way, they use this for Halloween Horror Nights as well. They actually show a Purge show in this theater, which is very intense, and it is awesome. It is super cool. It's like my favorite thing from Halloween Horror Nights. But please go ahead, Ivan.
No, yeah, the Purge. I have a video of it on my channel as well, and it's very popular. The people for Horror Nights, the fans, they go crazy for that show. I'm not a fan of the movies, but the show is very good. They don't repeat most of what's here or at all. They have their own type of stunts. They don't have the plane, which I think is a tad disappointing because I'm like just incorporated in the story. But I think I understand why they don't do it. So they still have the jet skis. They have like lasers, and they have it's all original stunts that you don't see here. So I think that's also another benefit because you can do so much here, not the same kind of stunts. They had the Fall Guy when they were promoting the Fall Guy movie. They had a pre-show to this show, which had its own different.
Oh yes,
stunts.
I remember that.
So there's so much.
I cannot emphasize enough how seriously dangerous most of these stunts are. Right. These people are so damn good. And all right, they do it every day. They get used to it. But that's where complacency can set in. They are professionals in every way. And it would be a shame to see this level of dedication and skill go by the boards.
And the Purge show is even like hairier than this, because I mean there's a lot of gruesome stuff in there. I mean there's arms going places. I mean it's crazy. The Purge show is insane. But Lou is exactly correct. And those professionals, by the way, they actually do work in Hollywood. They after each conclusion of performance of Waterworld, they will introduce the various cast members, and they'll introduce them with the roles that they're most associated with. It's pretty crazy. Like, you actually have Hollywood talent doing these shows, and it's awesome.
Sure.
That's amazing. Because it gives them a chance to, like, say if there's like a big studio person in the audience.
Well, there's more than
one
cast, obviously. So when one of them's off working, somebody else fills in, but it's, God, this is a dangerous show.
Yeah,
it is
astounding to me that they're, and then you're in the splash zone, right? Like at SeaWorld.
And there have been notable accents before too. As somebody compares it to Indiana Jones Stunt Show. Indiana Jones Stunt Show has actually had some deaths associated with it, but this show beats out Indiana Jones Stunt Show any day of the week. As far as I'm concerned,
absolutely,
like it's not even close. Like this stuff is super cool, and you don't get like the setup and changeover that you do with Indiana Jones. Like,
there's no stop start. Let's tell you about the next scene. This just happens in sequence.
Yeah. And it plays out like a really for real story. It's so cool. And this is why I'm thinking, look, can I say that this will be a show that will remain forever in this space? No, the land's too valuable, right? At some point, there's going to be something that comes along and replaces it. But 5 years, I think that's too soon. I think this show specifically has a lot more life left in it. Now, 10 plus years, maybe that equation changes. But for right now, I do think this is, while maybe on the chopping block, the axe, I don't even think is getting sharpened at this point. Anyway, that's just kind of my thing on all of this. By the way, we're going to have a little bit of a shorter show today because, well, I've got some other duties that need to be attended to. But I do not want to forget our panelists on here. They've been doing a tremendous job with providing the content and knowledge that only they can. I want to go ahead and shout out Ivan specifically right here. He is doing a tremendous job over there on park hopping. It's one of the things I regret most, Ivan, about not going on live on Park Hopping every single Monday with you anymore, because, man, I just love your commentary. You can go ahead and find him here on his Valientes channel. Is that right? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can pronounce, at this point, it doesn't matter how you pronounce it, because it's an odd name that I had for like years ago. This character I came up with, and it's just stuck. I never changed it.
There's an old joke, Ivan. As long as you don't call me late for dinner, doesn't matter what you call me.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Your production values are great, my friend. They look really good.
Thank you.
Now, I produce some B-roll, but Ivan, don't hold the candle. This guy's the B-roll expert right here. Amazing stuff, and definitely check him out on Twitter as well.
Before we continue our usual crew here, not to step on any this wonderful panel, we do have a super chat that we've had waiting in the wings for quite a while.
No, I do apologize. Yes. Oh, I'm a bad host right there. Wild man of Yavin over here with $5. Vash, I heard your trauma with kidney stones may be the next pro emoji. Congratulations on finally making it. You can't back that up. Heat up. I see. That's it's great. It's fantastic. I really have arrived.
By the way, Vash, how's that hangnail in that case of eczema coming? As long as we're going into all of your medical,
it's coming.
Honestly, I understand. It came out and we're talking about it, but geez, a little privacy, folks. Just a little.
I look. This is why I didn't want to mention it at first. I was like, okay,
give it a name.
I might as well now. I'll go ahead. Maybe I'll call it the Stampede.
My kidney stone has a first name. It's OSCAR.
Oh boy, with the Vash feel right there. You can go ahead and find Erika at Erika and Raph. You can find Nolan Thunder at Nolan Thunder. You can also find him on That Game Place, doing all kinds of great stuff over there. Let me go ahead and get that link in the chat as well for you, so you can go ahead and find him there. And with Lou, well, as Lou beautifully mentioned before, you keep watching long enough, you're going to go ahead and find Lou. But you can find him officially at on the Pro channel, doing members-only content, that being the Genre Guys. Awesome stuff right there. And Hollywood Backlog with Lou and you every single Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern on this channel right here.
We do it live.
And we do it live, just like we're doing it now. Anywho, we have got to go and get out of here. Ivan, thank you so much for joining us for this special presentation of T3PO Live. Erika, Lou, Nolan, thank you so much. And audience, we will see you all later. As soon as I find the button. That's right there.